In a landmark diplomatic move, Russia and Togo have agreed to open embassies in each other's countries next year. This announcement, made during a high-profile meeting at the Kremlin between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Togolese President Putin and Gnassingbé, signifies a new chapter in the bilateral relations between the two nations. This significant development has captured the attention of international observers, underscoring how countries are seeking to expand their diplomatic outreach and cooperation in an increasingly interconnected world. This agreement to open embassies follows a series of diplomatic discussions and growing ties between Moscow and Lomé. Both countries have expressed a desire to enhance their collaboration, particularly in the fields of education, defence and economic development. The opening of embassies in each other's capitals is expected to be a powerful symbol of the growing partnership between Russia and Togo. It marks a shift from traditional diplomatic engagements, demonstrating how smaller nations are forging alliances based on mutual interests, despite geographical distance and historical context. The meeting between Presidents Putin and Gnassingbé at the Kremlin was a momentous occasion. The two leaders sat down for discussions on a variety of issues of mutual interest. During their meeting, Putin remarked on the long-awaited decision to establish formal diplomatic presences in each other's countries. Curiously, during all this time, we have not opened any embassies, President Putin stated, addressing the absence of official diplomatic missions between the two nations. However, we have finally reached an agreement on this. Next year, we will open embassies in both countries. For many, this statement was a reflection of the evolving nature of global diplomacy. In a world that is becoming increasingly multipolar, traditional alliances and diplomatic channels are no longer the sole means of international engagement. Countries like Russia are seeking to expand their influence and strengthen ties with nations outside the Western sphere of influence, particularly in Africa, where growing political and economic opportunities are drawing global attention. In the context of Russia's growing interest in African affairs, the meeting with President Gnassingbé was significant. Russia has long been engaged with the continent, offering military assistance, investment opportunities and educational programs, while also strengthening political and strategic alliances with a number of African nations. The decision to open embassies in Togo is an extension of this broader strategy to bolster Russia's presence in Africa, which has seen growing geopolitical interest, particularly in the wake of shifting global power dynamics. On the other hand, Togo's engagement with Russia represents a shift in the country's foreign policy. For Togo, strengthening relations with Russia is part of a broader strategy to diversify its diplomatic and economic partnerships. Historically, Togo has maintained strong ties with France, a legacy of its colonial past, but under President Gnassingbé's leadership, the nation has worked to broaden its international relationships and explore new avenues for growth. This decision to engage with Russia aligns with Togo's broader efforts to engage with emerging global powers, especially as the country looks to secure its position on the international stage. The opening of embassies will provide a more formalized framework for cooperation in critical areas such as education, technology, defense, and economic exchange. For Togo, it is an opportunity to tap into Russia's vast resources, especially in the areas of education and technology, which are increasingly seen as key pillars of national development. The importance of education was a central theme during the meeting between the two leaders. President Gnassingbé, in his remarks, underscored the critical role that education plays in shaping the future of any country. For what is more important today than education for the future of the country? He asked rhetorically. His words were not just a reflection of Togo's focus on education as a means of empowerment, but also highlighted the broader shared interest between the two nations in fostering human capital. In this regard, Russia has played a key role in supporting education in Togo, offering scholarships to Togolese students, which have helped build a bridge of opportunity between the two nations. We thank you for maintaining these scholarships for the benefit of Togolese students and young Togolese. President Gnassingbé expressed his gratitude, acknowledging Russia's role in providing educational opportunities for his country's youth. Education is a theme that has gained increased importance in global geopolitics. In a rapidly changing world where technological innovation and knowledge economy are at the forefront, investing in human capital has become a strategic priority for nations across the world. In this context, the collaboration between Russia and Togo in the field of education is an example of how nations are looking beyond traditional foreign aid and focusing on sustainable long-term partnerships that empower people to compete in the global economy. President Gnassingbé continued by noting that in today's interconnected world, technology has become one of the driving forces of progress. Because in today's world, technology plays an important role, he said, and in this area, it is education that can make the difference. His words resonated with the growing sentiment that nations must place a premium on educational advancement in order to remain competitive and address the challenges of the future. With the opening of embassies between Russia and Togo, the two countries are setting the stage for a more formalized and systematic exchange in the field of education and technology. The diplomatic missions will serve not only as centers of communication between the two governments, but also as hubs for cultural exchange and collaboration in various sectors of society. In particular, the educational aspect of this collaboration is expected to take center stage. Russia has a long history of providing scholarships and educational exchanges to students from developing countries, including many African nations. For Togo, this partnership represents a unique opportunity to enhance the skills of its young population, ensuring that they are equipped to contribute to the global knowledge economy. This focus on human capital development also aligns with Togo's broader national goals of sustainable development and poverty reduction. By investing in education, Togo hopes to build a skilled workforce that can drive the country's economic transformation. In turn, the partnership with Russia offers Togo access to a wealth of knowledge, research and technology that can accelerate its development. The relationship between Russia and Togo is not confined to the realms of education alone. As the two leaders discussed, military cooperation has been another important aspect of their bilateral ties. Earlier this year, the two countries signed a military cooperation agreement, further solidifying their partnership in the face of evolving global security challenges. This agreement is particularly significant in the context of the ongoing instability in parts of Africa, where security threats such as terrorism and civil unrest remain pervasive. The military cooperation agreement between Russia and Togo reflects a broader pattern of Russia's growing involvement in African security matters. Russia has increasingly provided military support to several African nations, offering weapons, training and advisory services to help countries combat security threats and enhance their defense capabilities. This engagement with African nations has positioned Russia as an important player in the region's security landscape. For Togo, the military cooperation agreement is part of a broader strategy to strengthen its own defense capabilities and protect its sovereignty in an increasingly volatile region. Togo, like many African countries, faces security challenges, including the threat of extremist groups operating in neighboring regions. By partnering with Russia, Togo seeks to bolster its own security infrastructure and enhance its ability to respond to these threats. The decision to open embassies and deepen military and educational ties is also part of a broader geopolitical shift. As the world becomes increasingly multipolar, countries are looking to diversify their foreign relationships and reduce their dependence on traditional powers. In this context, the relationship between Russia and Togo is emblematic of how smaller countries are seeking to engage with emerging powers in order to secure their own interests. For Russia, expanding its presence in Africa and building strategic alliances with countries like Togo is an important part of its broader geopolitical agenda. By cultivating these relationships, Russia is seeking to increase its influence on the continent, securing access to resources, expanding its economic footprint, and enhancing its geopolitical clout. As African nations continue to grow in economic and political importance, Russia's partnerships with countries like Togo could prove crucial in shaping the future of global power dynamics. As the year 2026 approaches, the opening of embassies between Russia and Togo will mark a new chapter in their diplomatic engagement. It will provide both nations with the opportunity to deepen their collaboration, explore new avenues for economic and cultural exchange, and address the pressing challenges of the modern era. Through this partnership, both Russia and Togo are looking to build a future based on mutual respect, shared interests, and the recognition that in today's world, collaboration is the key to success. The opening of embassies is not simply a symbolic gesture. It represents the tangible commitment of both nations to working together for the benefit of their people. By strengthening ties in areas such as education, technology and defence, Russia and Togo are laying the foundation for a future of shared prosperity and security. In conclusion, the agreement to open embassies between Russia and Togo is a significant step forward in their diplomatic relationship. It highlights the growing importance of non-traditional alliances and the expanding role of emerging powers in global geopolitics. As both countries look to the future, their collaboration in key areas such as education, military cooperation and technology will be crucial in shaping their respective paths toward progress and development. This diplomatic breakthrough marks the beginning of a new era of cooperation between Russia and Togo, one that promises to bring lasting benefits to both nations and the wider international community.
Уважаемые, тем не менее, несмотря на то, что посольства отсутствовали, и мы полагаем, что это очень важное направление. У нас несколько сот.
Réservé, nous sommes très heureux d'être ici à Moscou et nous ressentons.
Я вас с собой не пригласил на мероприятие, с которого я только что. Как ни странно, за это время у нас не были открыты посольства, и вот мы наконец договорились об этом. В следующем году открываем посольство в обеих странах.
Il y a quoi de plus important aujourd'hui que l'éducation pour l'avenir du pays. Donc nous vous remercions pour avoir maintenu ces bourses au profit des étudiants togolais et des jeunes togolais, parce que dans le monde d'aujourd'hui, la technologie joue un rôle important. Et dans ce domaine-là, c'est l'éducation qui peut faire la différence. Nous espérons qu'avec l'ouverture des ambassades, nous ferons mieux dans ce domaine.